Chapter 6 July 16, 1960 was a day I shall remember all my life. It was when I first set foot on a shingle and sand beach of chimpanzee land, that is Gombe National Park. I was 26 years old. Mom and I were greeted by the two African Game Scouts who were responsible for protecting the 30 square miles of the park. They helped us to find a place where we could put up our old ex-army tent. We chose a lovely spot under some shady trees near the small, fast-flowing Kakombe stream in Kigoma. Before setting out, we had found the cook, Dominic. He put up his little tent some distance from ours and quite near the lake. When camp was ready, I set off to explore. It was already late afternoon, so I could not go far. There had been a grass fire not long before, so all the vegetation of the more open ridges and peaks had burned away. This made it quite easy to move around, except that the slopes above the valley were very steep in places, and I slipped several times on a loose, gravelly soil. I shall never forget the thrill of that first exploration. Soon after leaving camp, I met a troop of baboons. They were afraid of the strange, white-skinned creature that was I, and gave their barking alarm call, woohoo, woohoo, again and again. I left them hoping that they would become used to me soon. Otherwise, I thought all the creatures of Gombe would be frightened. As I crossed a narrow ravine crowded with low trees and bushes, I got very close to a beautiful red gold bushbuck, a forest antelope about the size of the long-legged goat. I knew it was female because she had no horns. When she scented me, she kept quite still for a moment and stared toward me with her big dark eyes. Then, with a loud barking call, she turned and bounded away. When I got to one of the high ridges, I looked down into the valley. There the forest was dark and thick. That was where I planned to go to the next day to look for chimpanzees. When I got back to camp, it was dusk. Dominic had made a fire and was cooking our supper that evening, and for the next days, we had fresh food from Kigoma. But after that we ate out of cans. Lewis had not managed to find very much money for our expedition, so our possessions were few and simple: a knife, fork, and spoon each, a couple of tin plates, and tin mugs. But that was all we needed. After supper, Mama and I talked around our campfire, then snuggled into our two cots in the tent. Early the next morning, I set out to search for chimpanzees. I had been told by the British game ranger in charge of Gombe not to travel about the mountains by myself except near camps. Otherwise, I had to take one of the game scouts with me. So I set off with Adolphe. That first the first day we saw two chimps feeding in a tall tree. As soon as they saw us, they let down and vanished. The next day we saw no chimps at all, nor the day after that.